Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 131, Elements of College Mathematics, Section 1.1, Problem 17. This is Section 1.1, Problem 17. Find the equation of the line that passes through the point -2, 6 and is perpendicular to the line 2x minus 3y equals 5. So our goal is to find the equation of a line. And when we find the equation of a line, we want to use the formula for the equation of a line, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And most of the equation stays, but there are three parts of the equation that we have to fill in a number value for. The y1 needs to have a number value, so I'll underline it. The m needs to have a number value, so I'll underline it. And the x1 needs to have a number value, so I'll underline that also. And the rest of it can stay. Now in the problem, the given point, -2, 6, gives me my values of x1 and y1. The x-coordinate of -2 will be x1, and the y-coordinate of 6 will be y1. So I can fill in most of the equation right away. So y minus y1 on the left side of the equation, again the y stays because it doesn't have an underline, minus y1 has an underline, so it needs a number value, which will be 6, equals m. I don't have a value for m yet, so I'm going to leave a blank spot, and I'll fill that in a minute. M again is for slope. Now the parenthesis doesn't have an underline, it stays. The x does not have a parenthesis, it stays. Minus x1 has an underline, so it needs a number value. The number value for x1 is -2. Again, notice the two negatives. One comes from the fact that the formula has a negative, and the other comes from the x-coordinate having a negative value. So what about the m? I didn't fill in the m. So m is for slope. The line we're trying to find is perpendicular to the line that's given, 2x minus 3y equals 5. So in order to find the slope of that, I must put it in the right form, which is y equals mx plus b. I have to solve it for y. And once I do, the number in front of the x will be the slope. Notice the number in front of the x now is 2, but that doesn't mean anything because I haven't solved it for y yet. So I'll come off to the side, and I'll start with the equation as it's written in the problem. 2x minus 3y equals 5. Now to solve for y, the first thing I want to do is get the 2x that is now on the left over to the right side of the equals. So to do that, I'm going to do minus 2x on both sides. And on the left, 2x and minus 2x cancel, leaving me with minus 3y equals, and then on the right, the 5 and the -2x can't be combined. One has an x, one does not. So it's going to be -2x plus 5. So what remains to be done is cancel the -3 in front of the y. I want y equals. So as long as I divide everything by -3, it's okay. So -3y divided by -3, -2x divided by -3, plus 5 divided by -3. And now I can simplify, or simplify it as much as I can. On the left, -3y over -3, the -3's cancel, leaving me with a y, which is what I wanted to get. And then -2x over -3. Well, it doesn't really reduce, but at least the negatives cancel. So that can be written as 2/3 x. And the 5 over -3 at the end doesn't really cancel. I can write it as minus 5/3. But now that it's solved for y, the number in front of the x is the slope. The line that was given in the problem has a slope of 2/3. Now the line that we need to find the equation of is perpendicular. Perpendicular means the slopes are negative reciprocals. As fractions, they're inverted and they have opposite sign. So if the problem said parallel, the slope would be the same. The given line has a slope of 2/3. The line we must find would have a slope of 2/3. But because the problem says perpendicular instead of parallel, perpendicular would mean that I have to take the slope of 2/3 for the line that's given in the problem and flip it to 3/2 or invert it for the line that I have to find the equation of and go to the opposite sign. The given line has a positive slope, so the line I must find the slope for would be the opposite. It would have a negative slope. Now my formula for the equation of a line is completely filled in, but it's not in its most simple form yet. So the rest of the problem is to simplify it, to put it in that y equals mx plus b form. So to start that off, let me get rid of the minus a minus on the right side of the equation and just make it plus. So I'll leave y minus 6 on the left side. I'll leave the negative 3/2 in front of the parentheses. But inside the parentheses, the x minus a minus 2 is going to become x plus 2. Next thing I'll do is clear the parentheses. The negative 3/2 in front of the parentheses can be multiplied times each piece inside the parentheses. So for one more step, the y minus 6 can be left by itself on the left side. Negative 3/2 times x is negative 3/2 x. And then negative 3/2 times 2, well, the 2's cancel. 2 times some stuff over 2, the 2's will cancel, leaving you the negative 3. Don't lose the negative. That makes a difference. And not quite done yet. To have it in y equals mx plus b, I can't have y minus 6 on the left. I have to just have y. So easy enough to deal with that. I will do plus 6 on both sides, the left and the right. On the left, the negative 6 and the positive 6 will cancel each other, leaving me with a y. And on the right, I'm going to have negative 3/2 x. And negative 3 plus positive 6 will give me positive 3. Now, that's the final answer. That is the answer, and it is in the most simplified form. So the equation of the line that passes through the point negative 2, 6 and is perpendicular to the line 2x minus 3y equals 5 is this line y equals negative 3/2 x plus 3.